Hey guys, quick video on the Kert. Stands for Keyring Emergency Response Tool. Nifty little product. It's like $5-6, really inexpensive, and has a lot of very practical uses. And you can also use it as a interesting little keychain EDC product as well. So let's take a look at this and what it is. It is basically we'll take this little protective cover off, which is basically just a little rubberized cover. And at first my concern was that this is just going to fall off, but it actually has not fallen off yet in my pocket. So what does this thing have? Of course, on the end we have a flathead screwdriver. Here there's an oxygen tank wrench, which, you know, I've never needed one in my life, but if you were a first responder, this could actually come pretty handy. And a little 1/4-inch hex bit along with this seatbelt cutter, and it's on a big kind of oversized ring, split ring, and kind of a nifty little thing. It won't sit flat, guys, sorry. So I got this thing as basically one of those Amazon, I need to get to $35 to get free shipping, so I ended up picking this up, which that's how I pick up a lot of my EDC tools. And I've been using it in two different ways. First, I had it just kind of in my pocket along with some other small EDC gear, separate from my keys, just to kind of see how it fits in the pocket. I really wanted to make sure that that rubber cover wasn't going to fall off, because I didn't want to have it in my, I just didn't want to tear out my pocket or anything like that. So I kind of pocket wore it for a little bit, but what I really found was this thing actually wears better as a little necklace and is a little more handy. Now, as I was using this, as you know, anyone who has kind of a small homestead knows, there's no end to the amount of projects that you always have to do around the house. So I found this to be really helpful, because this will cut paper, cardboard, paracord, you name it. It's a pretty handy cutter, and it works really well. So as I was out doing things in the garden, you know, stringing up tomato plants and things like that, I found this very easy to cut little bits of string, and you know, even when you needed that occasional flathead screwdriver, it was there and just worked for you. Of course, I haven't had to use the oxygen wrench yet, but it you know, go figure, I probably won't. But if you are an emergency responder, this could be a heck of a tool for you to keep around your neck. The grind on the cutter is on both sides. A lot of them just have a plain chisel grind. As you can see, this is cut in on both sides, which I do kind of prefer, because now there's no sharp edge that may catch your clothing or your hand or anything if that rubber boot comes off. So like I said, I've been wearing this around my neck. I find it very convenient to kind of wear it on a long piece of paracord and just have it kind of dangling there when I'm in the garden, because I can just pop that rubber boot off, cut things a little easier than pulling a knife out of my pocket and putting it back, especially when you got dirty, grimy hands, because in reality you don't even have to touch this thing. If it's hanging from your neck, you can use that leverage, you know, of it hanging to cut things. So I found that to be really exciting. Like I said, this is something, if you're a first responder, this is an excellent backup to whatever it is you're using for your main kind of EDC system. It's good for your general person. I mean, like I said, this is I found this to be really handy in the garden and around the house when I just needed to cut, you know, little pieces of string or rope or anything like that. It's a little bit easier than pulling out a knife, and you really don't need the rubber boot. Like I said, it's, you know, this is recessed enough where you don't have to worry about it cutting your pocket. You don't have to worry about it catching your thumb or anything like that. You'd really have to dig in there pretty deep to cut yourself. Even kind of pushing in really hard, I'm not catching any of the edge. So there it is. It's cheap, inexpensive, couple different tools. Let's show you how this thing works. And the cool part is, I like too, when you're just kind of free floating this in your pocket, you can use this ring for your leverage. So let's zoom out of here. And we have some gutted paracord here. So we're just going to take a little loop, and you got to kind of pull it straight, because if you pull it off to the angle there, you're not going to get it. But it cuts through it like butter. We'll do that again. And like it's not even there. Here's a little piece of cardboard. Cuts through that like butter. Here's some regular 550. Cuts through that like it's nothing, and we're even going to double it up because this will. I have cut denim. I've cut nylon webbing. It cuts all that as well, guys. So just because I don't have it right here in front of me doesn't mean I didn't test it. A little harder, but you can cut the double up. Now let's see if we can cut the quadruple. I don't know if that's going to work, but we're going to give it a try. I'm going to kind of preload that. I don't think it's going to cut. It seems like it's kind of bulky. Yeah, it won't cut 4 of them, but it will cut 2 for certain. So it will cut nylon webbing. It'll cut anything like that. I have not sure exactly what I'm going to do with this sucker long term. Whether I'm going to keep it in my car, whether I'm going to keep it on my EDC keyring, whether I'm going to maybe hang it from my rear view mirror in my car. I'm not quite sure. It'd actually be a good place for it, to put it on that rear view so you have an emergency seatbelt cutter. I do kind of like wearing it around my neck on a long piece of paracord around the house. It's a little less bulky than a neck knife and works just as good when it comes to rope and all that. You know, it doesn't give you that ability to kind of flat cut or do a plunge cut, but if it is just rope and string and all that, it's a pretty handy little tool for the price. $6. CRKT Kert. Very happy with it. Works really good. There you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed.